I am Australia's Larrikin, and I wrote this very fast. You are a beaut. I thee salute. Elizabeth the Last. Now, what is your livelihood? Pray tell me what you do. I chiefly live by thieving, Judge, the same as you. And what did you say to this gentleman while the altercation lasted? Did you insult this man in any way? I called him worship, you bastard. Well, there were two foremen on the job. Oh, gee, you should have seen them. We called them photo finish. There was only a half a head between them. Now, anyone can wrestle a pig, no matter which company employs it. Trouble is, you both get covered in filth, and only the pig enjoys it. The labourer stood with his flapping old shoe. The sole of it flapped on the strand. The bossy pulled out a big bundle of notes, and he gave him the rubber band. Now, they've taken all the glamour from the surf at Tamarama. The water's often full of contraband. I saw old Charlie Pritchard get contacted by a Richard, so he sprinted for the safety of the sand. They say that out at Bronte, the water's like Spumante, with soap suds effervescing night and day. A 60-pounder Dewey took a tumbler of Drambuie just to get the guts to go to Botany Bay. A dirty big bronze whaler, getting punched up by some tailor, said, "They'll kill me, son. Me fangs have rotted out. I've got unfulfilled impulses, 40 duodenal ulcers, and both me fins are crippled with the gout." Now, I worked out Wobbegong, who'd escaped from Wollongong, said detergent's going through me when it spills. I won't get that part in Jaws, 'cause I look like Santa Claus, and I'm blowing bonza bubbles through me gills. A mad Maroubra cod kept screaming, "Save me, God!" The fallout's drifting south from North Bondi. I think there's nothing groovier than a splash in the effluvia, came a recorded voice from right up in the sky. Now, a freaked-out barracuda leapt upon a motor scooter. He was shouting, "Hasn't life got more to give?" I said, "Is it your psyche that has turned you to a bikey?" "No, the chunder in the water where I live." But you Melbourneites can't knock us just because the Staphylococcus gives us free inoculations every day. Charlie said it wasn't funny to go swimming in the dunny. He meant the beach down at Port Phillip Bay. And soon Lake Burley Griffin, it will thicken and will stiffen. Miracles will come, and no surprise, the lake's so full of fossils, Christ and all his 12 apostles could play a soccer match before your eyes. I've got a bit of a potpourri for you tonight. Hope I don't go too long. You know, I write humorous poetry and serious poetry. Sometimes I make you laugh, and I sort of hit you in the stomach. Don't be worried about your pimples, kids, and the colour of your hair. Think about the fate of man with too many bombs to spare. For a bursting pimple or a biting flea are nothing very much if men are robbed of courage like rabbits in a hutch. If we don't take time to ponder what makes the bombs so bad, The final facial will be sudden and disastrously sad. The waves of heat, the shock of falling shells, mosaicise the cool and flimsy leaves. They print a fever on the Christmas bells more ugly than the scars that snail art weaves. The shells that talc a city building block canker tendril brains and springy wits. They crease the dainty buds with orange shock and tear the opening flowers' dream to bits. It matches then a scalded girl's complexion, and she puts her joy inside a battened box to jettison in some unknown direction. And who's the surgeon known can pick those locks? Bombs, mad bombs, why don't you fall on me and save the world I love from misery? The coral reefs are drowning in the green sea. Their pink nettles blacken above the tide. No safety for seabirds on this estuary, or food for bright shoals nibbling at its side. The rainbow fish, like flags above a fire, pale and mope and shuffle through the weed. The brilliant flame fish and the dolphin flyer have lost their dash and cannot find their feed. The lacework beauty of the plankton shells is smashed and splintered like a shattered pane, and tunny, feeding on the flotsam, swell and burst like rats in an unaired drain. An enemy can't sip the fish's spawn. Their red lips blister in the dish-wash stew. No seabirds chorus in the nuclear dawn. No porpoise rise in convoy from the blue. He said the only good enemy was a dead one. He, the sandhursted, drilled and over-drilled, military academied, red-striped man with a moustache. But who was his enemy? Was he quite sure? He ordered khaki-coated flesh to breast the hail of iron. He ordered massed charges against unbroken wire. He ordered frontal attacks across sticky mud 4 feet deep. He ordered that his orders should be carried out. He ordered that if any man retire in disorder, he should be shot. He ordered that a man should fight until he was killed. He said, "We are fighting a war, remember. You and me and the lot of us, we are fighting a war." He said, "When we have killed more of them than us, we will tally and total the fallen, and then we will know we have won." They tallied and totaled the fallen, and they found that at times he had killed 3 times as many of us as of them. It was just plain arithmetic. A schoolboy could have told you. Well, who was his enemy? Wasn't he quite sure? Why should I wear that new slouch hat, the slouch of Vietnam? Why should I share the napalm guilt of blundering Uncle Sam? Why should I hunt down peasant kids who fight for rights and rice? Why should I spill this hard-earned blood in a sucker's sacrifice? I think of my old uncles and their mates who lie bone white on the far-off fields of Flanders. Now, who promoted that fight? They'll tell you that life is precious. Then they'll brush it aside like dust. But I won't give my life away, 'cause a brass hat says I must. A chilly dusk is falling here. The box tree shadows stretch, and through the ringbark clumps I see the vanished soldiers fetched. The tall plume on the horseman, the slant brim down below, as through the mists of memory the slaughtered slouches go. There's young Mick the cricketer from frosty Yucumbene, and Pally Tom the skinner from the southern riverine, and troop on troop the squadrons pass, the sun across their cheeks, clay cold and as pale as cellar grass, and not one soldier speaks. The slouch of brave Gallipoli that blinded the digger's eyes, the slouch of bloody Passchendaele, where the shell-shock case still cries, the martyrs hanged in Changi, the heroes killed at Leh. But the slouch of jungle paddies is a slouch I cannot pay. Why should I wear that new slouch hat, the slouch of Vietnam? Why should I share the napalm guilt of blundering Uncle Sam? Why should I hunt down peasant kids who fight for rights and rice? Why should I spill this hard-earned blood in a sucker's sacrifice? Flog a wog, flog a wog, flog a wog a day. That was the phrase that I often heard him say. Flog a wog, flog a wog a day. Zafar, you Egyptian boy, gone forever from this school. Flog a wog, flog a wog a day. Deaf Egyptian, who did not belt you before they found out you could not tell the silent from the barking dog? Flog a wog a day. The day they belted you, you broke every window in the bottom story of the school. Flog-a-wogga, flog-a-wogga, flog-a-wogga day. We walked in over our crystal carpet. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Flog-a-wog, flog-a-wog, flog-a-wogga day. You ran away down the highway, down the syrupy summer bitumen, and I chased you. I knew the 2 shillings was yours, Zaffa, but you've gone from this school forever, Zaffa. Deaf child, flog-a-wogga, flog-a-wogga, flog-a-wogga day. Gone from a bluted concrete, mop-sozzled wooden floors, and queues of nails that zigzag and strike like a torpedo at the heart. Flog-a-wog, flog-a-wog, flog-a-wogga day. That was the phrase that I often heard him say. Flog-a-wog, flog-a-wog, flog-a-wogga day. The siren screams like the watching eyes that trace the flying man's goodbye. 100 feet, the liftman says, and someone coughs as they wheel him by. His chest is poured with dust and tears, with a bullock's eyes in his dying head, and the tiny lizard beat of his heart deltas his chin with streaks of red. The junior stoops and finds his pulse, flicks a page and takes his pen. Blood bubbles burst on the dogman's lips, and our stiffened backs go free again. A red surge foams in my ancient veins to see the struggle of his dying breath. My whitening knuckles grip the rail. The blood of my class is reddest at death. Fruit of the harvest, seasonal fall, the dogman's blood in the barrow spill. We count every man that falls. We count every man they kill. I built a city of green, a city all of dreams. Oh, my city of green, the best you've ever seen. For still and all a man must dream, far better it is to try to build a city all of green than to let your dreaming die. I took a punt, I marched out front, on me they tipped the can. I saw the heroes point and say, do you call it a man? But when the coppers buckled me and slammed the paddy van, I saw the heroes point and say, perhaps he was a man. Like a giant Stonehenge, the city we built for the worshippers of gold, and we ripped and tore to the jackpicks' roar in the burning heat and cold. And the worshippers came with their pallid flame to bow their heads and tell all the sins they had never committed, and the ones they had dreamed as well. The big wig said, this shall be so, now knock that theatre down. These rows of terraces must go in the centre of the town. They used their words to hunt me, I can tell you that they stung. I got plenty, and gave plenty, with my songs and fighting tongue. Well now, my friends, my hair is grey, and I am growing young, for in the sky the stars will play where once smog curtains hung. I see the rivers shine with fish, the oceans glint with brim, and there won't be any beaches where the kiddies cannot swim. I built a city of green, a city all of dreams, when all my dreams were green, oh, the best you've ever seen. For still and all a man must dream, far better it is to try to build a city all of green than to let your dreaming die. And so, my friends, if you have a dream, do not let it die. Then when you are dead and gone, you'll be alive as I. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you.